A brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner, Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day. Wednesday, so busy I barely have time to be on my own show. The Wednesday Homer Hour means Rainman, caller 5. We have only a couple of weeks left. We have a tie. Terry and Travis, right, Pebble?
That's right. Terry Walker Show at 9. Travis in West Dallas, 9 last week.
So that means the two of them can't compete unless somebody would get 10 this week. 15 questions, 2 minutes, a concept stolen from ESPN. Everybody involved with it, including the show itself, they're all gone. But it lives with Rainman. Caller 5, 1-800-990-3776. Caller 5, 1-800-990-3776. You automatically win a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs, even if you suck. And you might win Cousin Subs for a year, which should be fantastic. Let's see, what do I need to take care of? Business here. Tune in Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into the Bucks in 6, a culture unknowingly created by Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks in 6, how it became the rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks presented by Gallagher. 1-800-990-3776 after Rainman. Then it's Jason Wilde. And then later on, Tim Van Vooren, who I would say is the expert on the Green Bay Packers. I've been positive more than he has, and he's tried to tone me down every week. And this last week, he just wasn't going to say that the Packers should or would beat Detroit, and he nailed that one. So I'm always curious what Jason has to say, but I'm also curious to see if TVV is willing to take the Packers against Seattle. In Seattle is good. Not really good, but good in the category where the Packers may be. Packers may have a better house in the neighborhood, but Seattle is in the Packers' neighborhood. They're only behind him by a game. So that will come later on. But right now it's Rainman. And let's go to Mike in New Berlin. Mike, you're on 94.5 ESPN. Good afternoon. Your resume, please, on Rainman.
I don't have much of a resume, but just happy to be here.
So have you ever played it before?
Not this one, nope.
All right. So, Pebble, would you give Mike any tips that he might need? You have 15 questions in 2 minutes.
15 questions in 2 minutes. If you don't know the answer, say skip. Don't dilly-dally on a question, because otherwise you're going to run out of time. So
that's pretty much it. Rainman is brought to you by Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, and been doing it well for over 50 years. That's how they can be so good. And the phrase that I will mention again later on in the hour, but it's perfect: small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. Yeah, you got to have the clout, and you got to have a working relationship with the insurance things you're dealing with so that you can get the best deal. And you get all the attention. So again, small enough and then large enough, as I just said. Saganiac Planning, phone number you can remember, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
Well, you got to remember 783. And Rainman is also brought to you, as I mentioned, by Cousin Sub. Mike is automatically got a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. And should he get 9, which would put him in a tie, and we've had ties in the past, then it's a random selection. Or if he got 10 to be the leader. And if he wins the competition, and this competition will end the end of this month, the end of December, you would win, he, Terry, Travis, at this point, a 1-year gift card from Cousin Subs. And that's worth about $300. So there's a lot on the line for Mike if he can pull it off. Mike, by the way, the first question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. I added that because Saganiac Planning such great supporters of Marquette. So they get the first question, which will be about Marquette. I mentioned that because you've never played before and you need to know how it fits. So you ready to go?
Yep.
Here we go. You got 2 minutes, 15 questions. 3, 2, 1, go. As a player, in what stat did Shaka Smart set a high school basketball record at his school?
Free throw percentage.
Incorrect. How old is Giannis?
30.
Correct. How old is Bob Uecker?
90.
Correct. How old is Bud Selig?
88.
Incorrect. Who is older, Bob Uecker or Bud Selig?
Bud Selig.
Incorrect. The number of home runs Juan Soto has hit in a season, the most, 41, 46, or 51. Most home runs Soto has hit in a season. 41, 46, or 51.
46.
46 is incorrect.
46.
How many Super Bowl appearances for Mike Holmgren as a head coach?
3.
Correct. Head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Current?
Yes.
Pass.
Head coach for Seattle was the defensive coordinator for what college in 2021?
Pass.
Packers have not allowed a sack in how many games this season? 2, 3, or 4?
3.
Incorrect. Packers 24 takeaways. What team leads the NFL with 28 takeaways?
Vikings.
Incorrect. Who has more touchdown passes this season? Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, or Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
Correct. Receiving touchdowns by a tight end. San Francisco George Kittle leads with 8. How many does Tucker Kraft have?
6.
Incorrect. Last 4 games, Christian Watson with 330 yards receiving. In how many catches? 331 yards.
8.
Incorrect. How many wins did the Brewers have this season in the regular season?
92.
92 is incorrect. 1, 2. I got 4, Pebble.
I have 4 as well.
Oh, man, you were close. You were close. I will see if you'll see how you feel, Mike, when we're done. All right. As a player, in what stat did Shaka Smart set a high school record?
Assists?
Assists. Assists in a game, assists in a season, and assists in a career. He was a very good point guard at Oregon High School near Madison. How old is Giannis? He is 30. How old is Bob Uecker? He is 90. Pebble, how old is Bud Selig?
I think he's also 90.
He's also 90. Uecker was born January 26, 1934. Bud Selig was born July 30th, 1934. So Uecker is about 6 months older. Most home runs Juan Soto has hit in a season, 41, 46, or 51.
41 he did this past
41.
year.
That's it. And what's he making? $1 billion? How many
Let's
Super
do it.
Bowl appearances for Mike Holmgren as head coach? 3. Excellent. 2 at Green Bay, 1 in Seattle. These Pebble will know easily, and they'll explain why in a minute. Who is the head coach of Seattle?
Mike McDonald.
And the head coach, Mike McDonald, was defensive coordinator for what college in 2021?
The Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. So, and then Harbaugh's brother stole him to the Ravens, and then
to the
Harbaugh
Ravens.
stole him.
He replaced
I don't remember who it is.
Wink Martindale.
Somebody else who left.
No,
and
Wink
then-
Martindale, who was
Yeah.
actually the defensive coordinator at Michigan this past year.
Yeah, weird. Packers have not allowed a sack in how many games this season? 2, 3, or 4?
4?
4 is correct. This Packers 24 takeaways. What team leads the NFL with 28?
The Steelers?
That is correct. Jordan Love. This is the one you want to remember. Tell everybody if you wish. Jordan Love this season has how many touchdown passes, Pebble? 21. How many does Aaron Rodgers have? 20. How many does Patrick Mahomes have? 20. Jordan Love missed those games and still has more touchdown passes this season. Receiving touchdowns by a tight end, San Francisco George Kittle leads with 8. How many does Tucker Kraft have?
7?
7 is correct. And this is amazing. Last 4 games, Christian Watson with 331 yards receiving and how many catches?
10?
10. He's averaging 33, and I want to give Mike credit because you said 8, didn't you? That would have been 40 yards a catch. And I feel bad for you on this one. How many wins did the Brewers have this season? In the
93?
93, and Mike picked 92. All right. You got 4. Really doesn't matter. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Tell the world if you want you got 8. I think you were probably somewhere closer to 6 or 7. I think the first time hurt you a little bit.
In spirit.
How many do you feel like you should have gotten right?
The only ones I'm mad at are the ages of Seelig and Euchre. So there you go.
There you go. Well, thanks for playing. You get a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs for literally doing nothing. I mean, other than helping the show. Pebble, do you need to talk to Mike? Put him on hold, or
Yep,
you
man,
take
give us the info right now.
We'll do that. Yes, the things I want you to remember from Rainman. Bob Euchre and Bud Selig are both 90, and Bob Euchre is about 6 months older. Packers, again, 24 takeaways, 28 with Pittsburgh. Jordan Love has more touchdown passes this season, even with the games missed, than Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if it continues. And Christian Watson, last 4 games, 331 yards receiving, 10 catches. That's impressive. Rainman brought to you by Saganiac Planning and Cousin Subs. Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
It's still a rough ride out there right now. We've got a bunch of accidents to deal with. First of all, on 175 southbound, the 3 lanes are blocked at Wells, so only 1 lane is squeezing through tightly. And then we've also got on the other side of the wall, on the northbound side, we've got 2 accidents right in that neck of the woods that's blocking the left lane. So watch out for the big delays through there. We've also have a crash on southbound 43 on the ramp to get on to 794 eastbound. That is making for nasty delays from basically Hampton all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. We've also got a crash on the southbound Rock Freeway just past Highway 100. It's off on the right shoulder, luckily, but that's something to keep in mind. Very slow speeds no matter where you go, though, because those wet roads are now starting to freeze over with this temperature drop that we're getting. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast for tonight. Clearing skies eventually. Cold and windy, a low of 2 above with a wind chill of 5 below to 22 below. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, windy, very cold, a high of 14 with a wind chill of 0 to 20 below. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Always have a slice of summer by playing Pro Tour courses on one of their 12 simulators. Book a bay for just $35 Monday through Thursday. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN show streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Rick, describe some of our wow Christmas gifts while Sarah and I name the prices and add a little commentary.
Okay. A 1.5 carat total weight diamond bolo bracelet.
Amazingly unique.
Just $1,598.
Half carat total weight inside outside diamond hoop earrings.
Just $698.
1 carat total weight is just $898.
A fabulous 3 carat oval created diamond.
But we only have a few of these.
Just $3,998.
A 1 carat total weight created diamond tennis bracelet.
Just $898.
We also have the big 1 carat total weight natural diamond tennis bracelet for just $1,798.
And from now until Christmas, we have 18 months same as cash financing.
With approved credit.
And a delightful gift for you with every purchase of at least $300.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Cousin Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub, with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak, features pepper jack cheese, sauteed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle cheesesteak with a delicious mint shake, and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Everybody should get information about Jason Wilde on the Packers. You just go to WisconsinOnDemand.com and you hit the button that says Jason Wilde. It's amazing how much is there because he's on all the time talking about the Packers. Good evening, Jason.
Hi, Homer. How are you?
I'm not good. I'm looking to find a third person for this segment so that the two of you can interview, but I haven't been able to fill that just yet.
No, I love it when I get to talk to you. No, that's the reason I complain about that is it means I get to talk to you less, and I don't like that.
No,
think about how many years I talked to you 5 days a week.
I know. It was great. Well, I'm not in charge of things.
Great seems strong.
No, it was great. It was. You're just, you're just really good. You're an amazing reporter who is nice to the players and still asks them tough questions. Usually those people are nice, just want to just be friends. I don't know. I don't understand that because it never made sense to me. But anyway.
No, I'm not going to be friends with Brett Favre. That's for sure.
Yeah, but, I've said to this before, understanding humanity, he's just, and Gastineau's the one. Like, fine. He's got issues and.
No doubt.
And yes, you want to say you wish you could be to Brett. Brett, you don't have to do anything. Say, I'm sorry you feel like that, like it's that way. That's it. I mean, the dude's crazy. So just, I'm sorry you feel that way. And you said it.
Well,
and
don't double down on the
Yes, why do you double down? You don't need to. If you're dealing with somebody who people don't, is anybody after Mark, everybody's going, I didn't know Gastineau's. Like he's been mad and crazy and upset. So nothing changed. It's just the first time it's been brought up in 20 years, right?
Correct. That's like literally I was and obviously we want to get to actual modern day Packer stuff, but I do think it's important to say that I hadn't thought about that in forever. Like I see Strahan on my TV every morning because we usually have Good Morning America.
And he clearly didn't need it given all he's done since then.
Right, he's done okay for himself.
Oh, yeah, right.
So he didn't necessarily need that. And he would have been a Hall of Famer regardless, too. But,
yes.
But look, I just think it's important because I did go back because I was just curious because this has blown up as much as it has. I did go back to our State Journal coverage from that game in January of 2002. Remember, the Packers were actually – one of the things that is crazy about that is the Packers were supposed to play – the Giants in week 2.
Yeah. Jason, all I remember is you said the line was mad at Favre because they had done such a great job and it was a challenge, and that's all anybody needs to know.
Yeah, they took it very seriously.
And did a great job.
We do not want to let this guy break the record against us. And Earl Dotson and Tausch both played in that game, and I was reading our story. Eric, I was there, but I wrote the main story and some other stories.
I don't think he came close.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. And the play that was called on which the sack, air quotes, occurred was 93 blast. 93 blast is a running play. He just didn't hand the ball to the running back. He instead rolled out on his own right into Strahan and gift wrapped him the sack and allowed him to break the record. And what the thing that bothers me, because I really think that, yes, it's important to be a great player and be a great leader and all the other things that are beyond just how well you play, but you have to understand who matters the most. And this is why it makes me angry that he would lie on top of it instead of taking the opportunity. The beat writers, we were all talking about this before LaFleur came in today, because what he should have said is, hey, you know what? When I look back two decades later, I look back and go, I shouldn't have done that. I not only was that unfair to Mark Gastineau, who I never even thought about the unintended consequence of affecting his legacy, but on top of that, my biggest mistake was I did something against my own teammates that I didn't think about when I did it in the moment. I really made my offensive linemen mad. I disrespected my teammates.
No,
and I
if I was an offensive lineman, Jason, I'd go to him and go, like, does he really care about any of us? I mean,
right.
You know, like,
That's
privately,
right.
like not just, this is, like, wow. I mean, you like him, you like
Right.
winning,
So,
he's a great
again,
player, but he clearly, you know, Mark, I usually to go, Tauscher, I don't think he gives a you-know-what about us. But
right, and again, I understand it's 20 years ago, but because it's become something because of the release of this New York Sack Exchange 30 for 30, it is germane. And when Tausch says this morning on our show that he was so mad that it's the only time in his career that a public relations person has come up to him and told him, hey, man, you need to calm down. That, to me, because, look, I think
can
we
you
both
believe
know
how
him.
proud they were? This guy has a chance to set the record, and we shut him down. The only time he came close to Favre was in the pregame talk.
To quote Tauscher from our story from that day, I'm just going to say it's disappointing. I'm not going to get into anything else.
All right,
It's disappointing.
Yes, they can look him back there. I want to get on to Seattle because, I mean, I think Seattle's better than people think, but the Packers are better. They should win, but I don't know that people appreciate how good Seattle is. It's not that they're that good, but isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're not that. They're not that good,
right?
Because they lost 4 in a row, and so you look at them and go, "Well, these guys aren't very good." Now they've won 4 in a row,
right?
And now you think, "Oh, maybe I was wrong about them." Look, what they've done is they've stopped having Geno Smith throw the ball all over the yard, which has decreased his number of interceptions. Kenneth Walker is obviously dealing with an injury, so we'll see if he plays. But this guy Charbonnet has been pretty darn good. So they can run the ball. The Packers' run defense has been better. So they did a decent job against what I would argue is the best 1-2 punch in the league in Gibbs and Montgomery. They weren't great against them. They certainly didn't dominate, but those guys are pretty darn good. And so they did okay against them. They probably got help from the scoreboard and the team getting out to a big lead against Miami and San Francisco. But their run defense is better. But they need to be really effective in this game because otherwise they are going to lose in Seattle. And to me, the really interesting question is on the other side, is the offensive line going to answer the bell after what, the doctor of football, Brian Bulaga, said was basically their worst game of the season as a line? Like, they struggled with the noise and the silent count, and they got off the ball late early in that game. Like, they did not play a very good game, especially in the first half. And it's going to be loud again in Seattle. We all know that that's part of it. None of these guys have ever played in Seattle. It's been that long since they made the trip out to the Pacific Northwest. So, look, I look at this as a game, and I think we talked about this yesterday when John Anderson was on with you and handled most of the conversation. that this is the kind of game that, you know, you always said that if you are the team that you think you are, you win this game. And I wouldn't apply that to this. I would apply the Bears game and the Saints game coming up, those two games, as fitting that category. This is the kind of game where you are a playoff team. This is the kind of game where you'll find out more about yourself.
Yes.
In the aftermath of the loss to the Lions.
Right. I mean, because just as they're at 9, and New Orleans and Chicago, they're at 11. I mean, if they're not at 11 with those two, then we got issues. But you're right. Yeah, this will tell them a little bit more. And I assume you try. They know they're in the playoffs, or I don't. What's the last quick question? The dynamic of how motivated they are. I don't think they've done enough to, as a group, to take anything for granted. But I don't know what. Yeah.
So is Tim Van Vooren on today with you?
He is. Yes. I'm curious.
So
he wouldn't pick him against Detroit. I'm wondering if he'll pick him against Seattle.
Yeah, we were both together for Jordan Love. Luke Musgrave was, he obviously returned to practice today. It's probably something I should mention before we run out of time. But that could be a big thing that they could make.
Is it really?
It could be. It could be.
Doesn't Tucker Kraft play all the time? Isn't he just going to get in?
He does, but they have they've played a lot of 2 tight end lately. They would like to do that more, and obviously he's an upgrade over Ben Sims or John Fitzpatrick.
How much?
He was he's obviously not the blocker that Tucker Kraft has made himself into, but if you remember last year, he's big, fast, and athletic, so he would certainly help them if he's able to come back, and so him practicing on a limited basis is obviously an encouraging sign. Now that said, I don't know how soon he'll play. He won't. I can't imagine he'll play on Sunday. But my point is that there's a chance that it could really give them yet another boost down the stretch, and they are as healthy as you can ask to be with 4 games left in the season. I mean, everybody except Javon Bullard practiced in some way today. But to go back to what this game means, Tim kind of asked the question really well about you can't win the division. You want to keep playing well, but how much are you really doing?
There's not that much on the line. There just isn't.
Right, but I think the biggest thing is the idea of momentum and playing the way you want to be playing.
Yeah.
And so that I do think is important. Now, do I think they're going to go 4-0? I guess it's possible, but I think they either lose this game or the Vikings game in Minnesota. And if they lose them both and they go 2-2 in these 4 games and end up at 11-6,
and they won't have beaten anybody with a good record.
Right, and there's also the danger that you fall to the 7th and final spots, that somehow Washington leapfrogs you, and now instead of going to Seattle or going to the NFC South champion, you got to go to Philly. And one of the great things about playing in Brazil, even though they lost, was that you'd much rather have to play Philly and Brazil on a neutral field than play them in Philly as a true road game. And if they were to somehow fall to 7, and the Lions hold on to the number 1 seed, that's what would happen. And I don't think that's the ideal draw.
No, that's a problem. Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. Tim Van Vooren isn't next, but he's soon. Fisco, tell you about him so you'll like me. It's part of it. Not at the top of the list, but near it. Here's how it works. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. You go there. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. And they're great. It's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do. It's who they are. So they're so good at it that you'll just be impressed. Expert workmanship, guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. And then when you're happy about how good they are, and everyone is, eventually think, wow, Homer, thanks. And it helps my reputation. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco, to remember the name. I am next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
A couple of accidents still affecting your ride. One on eastbound 94 at 13th Street off on the left shoulder, backing things up all the way back to 84th Street. And the other accident is on 894 eastbound at Loomis on the right shoulder. That's backing things up in through the Hale interchange in all directions. Westbound 94, still a very heavy ride, 35th Street past Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from 76th Street to the Zoo, and then again from Moreland Road all the way past Barker Road. Southbound on 41, very heavy from Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down through the Zoo interchange to about National Avenue. Southbound 43 has been pretty brutal as well from Hampton. It's a parking lot all the way down to Howard Avenue near the Plainfield Curve. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Clearing skies, cold, windy, a low of 2 above, with a wind chill of 5 below to 22 below. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, windy, very cold, a high of 14, with a wind chill of 0 to 20 below. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Always have a slice of summer by playing Pro Tour courses on one of their 12 simulators. Book a bay for just $35 Monday through Thursday. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
On the actual day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 12-pack of Lakefront, 11 Jims of Beaming, 10 Royals Crowning, 9 Johnny's Walking, 8 Wines of Sparkling, 7 Miller's Lighting, 6 Geese of Graying, 5 Chardonnays, 4 Spotted Cows, 3 Cabernets, 2 gift cards from just one trip to Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Rainman is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Skip the line and order online with a Cousin Subs mobile app and join the Cousins Club. Cousin Subs, they believe in better. You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Tim Van Vooren in a few minutes. We have to address a couple of other things first. Tauscher with the idea regarding the Gold Cup or whatever they call it, tournament for the NBA, which no one cares about. I feel bad for the players and the coaches. They have to act like it's a big deal when it isn't a big deal. But Tausch suggested to make it more important, a lottery pick. And I thought that's just perfect. So you have 30 NBA teams, right, Pebble?
That's correct. 30.
So you have 16 that make the event, the tourney. They already added that little thing at the end. And so then you have 14 lottery picks, right? Okay. They put in the 15th pick is an extra one they put in for the team that wins the cup. I mean, it's brilliant. First of all, I think that especially with the better teams, you'd be happy to have a 15th pick because it's way better than the one you get, right? You'd normally be getting 28, 29, 27. You can get 15. I don't understand why the NBA hasn't done it to this point, but at some point I don't know. I guess if I'll have to look at the TV ratings. If you can sell the bluff, then I guess you keep selling the bluff. But I think then teams wouldn't have to lie and players wouldn't have to lie. Hey, we'd like to win this. We'd like to have a chance at the 15th pick. By the way, they could call it the Giannis pick, right? Wasn't Giannis pick 15?
He was indeed.
Yeah. So and how can you add an extra pick? They do it in other sports as well. Baseball has the picks that you add based on free agency and stuff like that. And you say, yeah, but this is the 15th pick. Well, we all know if you follow the NBA, the 15th pick in basketball is the number of great players is pretty limited other than Giannis. You need to be, I don't know what it is, top 4, top 5. Somebody's done all the analytics and the studies. But 15th, make it, I would care. By the way, and I don't really need to ask the question because I don't know what honesty people would have anyway. But our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, which is more surprising, Bill Belichick having a 24-year-old girlfriend or Bill Belichick becoming the head football coach at North Carolina? I thought the 24-year-old girlfriend would be like 90%. I mean, you're talking about Bill Belichick, who would have a certain style or reputation. It's not like, I would say Hugh Hefner, but that's Don Hudson. I don't know. Who would be a person who's that old? The owner of the Patriots? I don't know. There's somebody there which a 24-year-old girlfriend wouldn't surprise you much. Bill Belichick, but right now it is 50-50. Which is more surprising, Bill Belichick having a 24-year-old girlfriend or Bill Belichick becoming the head football coach at North Carolina? And I certainly believe that part of the deal at North Carolina is to help his kid be the following coach. I don't know how much of that has been said. I also think his interest is, I think he believes that there's nobody in the NFL that would hire him this year. And so I want to coach. What am I going to do? Well, college is the next. Let's find some place. And as many of them like to do, just help their kid if he's a coach. And that certainly to me has to be part of it. But it's tied 50-50. Again, Tim Van Vooren in a little bit. Dr. Aaron Holtebeck went to his office, the Brookfield office, and it's clear to me he's been doing this for so long. He wants to make vision care a top priority for everyone with the latest technologies at the state-of-the-art office. Whatever your situation is, how old or young you are, and whatever your condition, he's got an expert for everything now. In addition to his expertise, Dr. Holtebeck's been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. He has added to his team Dr. Nausheen Abbas to be able to help more people in more situations to take care of their vision. Don't mess with your vision. Trust the experts from Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield, near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more at Holtebeck, Holte, Holtebeck.com. And I mentioned Saganiac Planning. They're a part of Rainman. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service, and doing it well for over 50 years. That's how they can help you simplify confusing insurance problems. That's how they can have strong relationships. Family-owned, local, over 50 years. That's how they've come up with level-funded health insurance experts. Ask them about that. And this is the best thing, small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. Yes, you need somebody who has great, strong relationships with the various companies so that you get the best. You get the best because they're comfortable in talking with Saganiac Planning. 783, remember the number. Saganiac Planning, 262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. Wait until they get to the 61st year. Then it won't have to be Roger Maris. Tim Van Vooren. He wouldn't take the Lions. Gave him my best stuff. I think he's figured out exactly how good this Packers team is. All right, Pebble, do you think TVV will pick the Packers over Seattle? I think he will.
No, I don't think so. He's not going to make a pick. He didn't make a pick last week. He's not making a pick this week.
All right. Because he just doesn't believe in him that much.
If it was a home game for the Packers, he might, I think, but I don't think he's going to do it with them being on the road in Seattle.
I would bet that that's exactly what he says. I don't think he listens before it comes on. I hope not, because that would ruin all the things that we said, which I think are all going to play out. Tim Van Vooren, Fox 6 Sports, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Did you know that military veterans in Wisconsin carry millions of dollars in debt? This holiday season, it's time to give back to those who have given so much. Verizon and the Milwaukee Bucks are teaming up with ForgiveCo to make a difference with the Verizon Debt Relief Program. All December long, Verizon and ForgiveCo will relieve $250,000 of debt each week to ease the burden on local heroes. To find out how military veterans and members can receive special Verizon offers, visit verizon.com/military. Let's bring the spirit of giving to those who served.
Take the stress out of the holiday season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Get all your shopping done with Bucks deal season offers, featuring great gifts and limited time packages that even Scrooge will love. Score deals for everyone on your list, including yourself, from the Milwaukee Bucks and Pfizer Forum. 'Tis the season for cheer with your favorite deer. After all, there's no place like Pfizer Forum for the holidays. Shop the offers today at bucks.com/deal season.
'Tis the season of giving. Ho, ho, ho! At your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region, Hunis Auto Group dealerships. Hunis is the area's #1 rated car, truck, SUV, and EV holiday headquarters. During our exclusive Season of Savings sales event, we're offering our biggest discounts of the year on our entire inventory of America's best-selling brands from Buick and GMC at nearby Hunis locations in both Oak Creek and Greenfield. Thinking pre-owned? Your local Hunis dealership has the area's biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids, starting as low as $39.95 and payments as low as $199 per month. We're paying above top Kelly Blue Book values on all trade-ins, no matter the mileage or condition. Now that's giving even Santa would be proud of. Ho, ho, ho! Our huge Season of Savings sales event is going on now, exclusively at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Hunis Auto Group dealerships or online at shophunis.com. From the Hunis Auto Group family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Ho, ho, my back.
Santa?
Ho, ho, Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Ready for a game changer? Now's the time to take your shot with Quartz, your local provider-owned and affordable health insurance. You can choose from a range of benefits to best support you and your family. Quartz is a proud partner of Aurora Healthcare, so you get to stay in the network you love. Visit quartzbenefits.com or call Saganiac Planning 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Quartz branded health plans are offered by Quartz Health Benefit Plans Corporation, Quartz Health Plan Corporation, and Quartz Health Insurance Corporation, which are separate legal entities. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Records. Coaches have always said, you got to make your free throws. They would have loved the 2017-18 Marquette team that, as a team, shot better than 80%. How? Marcus Howard missed 7, made 105. Andrew Rousey missed 19, made 175. Sam Hauser missed 10, made 51. And Matt Held, he missed 4 and made 28. A team better than 80% from the line. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. The three most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Vooren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, Tim Van Vooren, Fox 6 Sports. He believes in the Green Bay Packers, but not that much. I don't know if it's the proper way to put it. We'll ask him. Tim Van Vooren, TVV. He likes the Packers, but not that much. Good evening, and is that a fair comment as to your position? If not, I'm sure you'll have a better one.
It's probably a fair comment. They are a second-tier NFC team right now. Could they move into the first tier? Could they knock off those first-tier teams like the Eagles, like the Lions, maybe like the Vikings? Yes, they could, but they haven't done that yet. Second-tier NFC team, I like them. They are a second-tier team.
All right, what's different between them and the Vikings? I see, again, you'll tell me if I'm wrong, I think you would have Vikings as the bottom first tier and the Packers as the top second tier.
Oh, exactly. That would be pretty slim, but you have to look at it that way. The Vikings have been well coached all season. They didn't kind of mess around and kick away some games early in the season, which I think the Packers did while they were finding themselves. They were just, they did beat themselves. We've talked about it before, Homer. Free snap penalties, turnovers, Braden Narvison. Those are all factors early in the season. Maybe the Packers win one more game and they're viewed differently. The Vikings didn't have those kick-away games, so they are ahead of Green Bay, not by a ton. The Eagles are above that. I put the Lions number one. I'm not sure if the injuries will drop them behind the Eagles before all is said and done, but I'd go the Lions number one, Eagles 2, Vikings 3, Packers 4, and what makes them 4 is that they haven't gotten over the hump against one of these good teams. Who's the best team they've beaten? The Rams? The Texans? Who would you say?
At the time they played them, I would say it's the Texans.
Yep, but the Texans have shown themselves to be
not
a little,
as good.
Yeah, a few holes in the act there.
And the Rams have looked to be better, but I just have to go back. Weren't they just missing people? It was, I thought.
Yeah, at that point, their receivers were out. They didn't have Kupp. They didn't have Nakua. So, that's a different team without those guys. The Packers they've had a fine season. And I asked Jordan Love today about, hey, you've got a month left here. You're in pretty good position. You pretty much know you're headed for the playoffs. What do you do? And he said, well, we're taking it like last year. We need to win out, which was a surprising answer to me. Because I think, quite honestly, most Packer fans at this point would say, hey, win one or two more. You're the 6th seed, maybe the 5th, and then you take your chances in the playoffs.
I don't know what it's like. You win out. What does it do? Other than maybe get you the right momentum, but it doesn't do anything probably for you.
Maybe do that, but how much does that gain for you?
Yeah, I mean, you don't, as Jason, I mean, if you just went bad and then you're the 7th seed, then that creates the problem. But I mean, they don't have to. I just don't think they have to. All they have to do to be not the 7th seed is win at home against New Orleans and Chicago, and it doesn't get much easier than that, does it?
I would, if you win 1, I think if you're Green Bay, you're in the playoffs. If you win 2, you're the 6th seed at worst.
Yeah.
And you have 2 games in there, like you say, at home that you should feel confident about.
All right, now to the Tim Van Vooren Scouting Bureau. Who do you have? Who's played better? I saw in the last 4 games, Christian Watson has 10 catches for 331 yards. That's crazy stuff. But I'm optimistic because I like a lot of their young defensive players. Some have been hurt, but maybe I'm giving them too much. Is there anybody or anything you like that see as most likely improvement to make them closer to a first-tier team?
Well, I think it's still on the offense, to be honest with you. I think if you're Green Bay, you have to score. And so Christian Watson being that emerging force here late in the season is very important. Jaden Reed's been pretty quiet. You and I sing the praises of Jaden.
Do you have any additional information on what the hell's happened?
I don't, but I would say we are believers in Jaden Reed.
Totally.
And you would think that his production can go back up. So, Watson has held the offense in there in the interim here. So I do think that's big. I'm not expecting Zane Anderson to have a real role from scrimmage going forward, but that was eye-opening the other night. He shocked me. He never plays from scrimmage.
No, he should be remembered. Had they won the game, his play would have been historically memorable. And instead it's all forgotten, and that's the way it goes when you lose. Those are the things.
That's the fourth down stop, but he was pretty solid even in his regular other
Was
steps.
he?
So,
if you say so, I didn't.
Yeah. No, I think part of that is because the Lions, didn't target him. It'd be interesting to know if he was a main player all week long, and the other team knew he would be there and they could go at him, how he would fare. But he certainly fared well against the Lions in throw-in duty the other night. So I think the Packers kind of are who they are, and I'm not sure that we're going to get an emergency. Is Luke Musgrave coming back a big boost?
No, I'm counting on you got to give me a defensive guy.
A defensive guy. Well, I think they've tried just about everybody.
Is everybody healthy now? That's my issue.
Jair Alexander not on the injury list at all today.
Yeah.
So you figure he plays. And, we can all talk about Jair. To me, the effect of Jair is the trickle-down. What does it do behind him?
Yeah.
Devon Bullard is not healthy. So
Bullard is still not healthy.
Traction behind him.
What about Cooper?
Cooper practiced today. I like Cooper. He's rangy and get all over the field.
Yes.
I think, he was definitely an impact
Williams.
player.
I have Williams and Cooper at the top of my list. I want them to play. I think they add an aggressiveness. But I don't know if the key is the scouting bureau see it the same way. I have Williams and Cooper ahead of Bullard in terms of importance for the defense to be what I want.
I would agree with you on that. Both of them, the aggressiveness, as you say, but both of them kind of around the ball. When you count their number of snaps and ratio it to their plays on the ball in some way, shape, or form, it's pretty, two rookies, it's pretty high. So I think those are the kinds of players who can make a difference for you in playoff games for sure. Bullard is a better piece than some of the other guys who are going to have to play with him being out, but he has not been a ball hawker or a change-making defensive player so far in his rookie.
Talking with Tim Van Vooren, Fox 6 Sports, and now we get to an important part. He wouldn't pick the Lions. Doesn't believe in the Packers enough to have them win at the Lions. Now, Seattle is not the Lions. Will Tim Van Vooren pick the Packers to win at Seattle or prove again that he thinks they're good but not that good?
First of all, on the Lions, Homer, I did say if you play it 3 times, you'd rather win the third.
Correct.
So I will stand by that. We'll see if that plays out.
But you would not
Seattle,
pick them in Game 2.
I did not pick them in Game 2. That's correct.
Seattle.
I will pick the Packers this week because I think while the Seahawks are improving, I think while the Seahawks are improving, they're 4 wins since the bye. That's all good. They were fresh. They've won those games. That's good. But none of those teams is 500 or better.
So this is more of your insight into Seattle than changing your view on the Packers.
To me, the Packers have lost to 3 teams 4 times, a total of 4 times. 3 outstanding teams. Philadelphia wasn't outstanding in my mind when they played, but Saquon Barkley certainly was.
Yep.
So I think that's the top tier, and the Packers are just below that, and Seattle's below them. So I would say Green Bay beats Seattle on Sunday night.
So and Seattle is 8-5, but as you said, you factored in their last 4 wins. That's how they're 8-5.
Which take nothing away from them. It's the shootout in the NFC West. Right now they're leading, so they would be the 3rd seed in the playoffs. They don't have anything closed on the Rams or the Cardinals or even technically the Niners. So there's a lot of pressure on Seattle.
Yes.
And Jordan Love's the one saying, the Packers want to win out. So I'm curious to see exactly what gets thrown down on Sunday night because I would not be shocked if, as last week we talked about, that could be a playoff matchup preview. This could be another playoff matchup preview. You could be playing 2 teams in the playoffs if things go a certain way for the Packers, that you played in the regular season in December.
And at the same spot.
At the same spot. On the road, and I don't think the Packers are scared about being on the road.
No. All right, where is Jordan Love? I think physically he's 100%. I think he's exact, and that doesn't guarantee a level of play, but it means I don't think anything as far as his physical status should be used in terms of judging his play at all. Will you join my club there?
He must be where you judge him on how he's playing football. I agree with you. Not on, he's compromised, so he's tough. Number one, I think he is tough. I think he's been out there through injuries and nagging things that other guys wouldn't have played with this year. I think all along he's been trying to justify the contract, force things early in the year. He's been on the field, has been on the field when he wasn't 100%. But I would say now he is healthy, and he hasn't had an interception in the last 3 games, and he is in a group. What are his numbers? 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, I believe, over the last 3 games?
Yes.
You're not going to do any better than that. That's what he did last year. That gives the Packers a chance.
So you mentioned the contract. Do you think the contract has changed him at all? And I'm not saying in a bad way. Is he any different? You alluded maybe a little bit to feeling the pressure of that, but who and what is Jordan Love this year compared to what he was last year in every facet by TVV Scouting Bureau?
Last year, Jordan Love was prove it. Prove that he was worthy of the opportunity he got with Aaron Rodgers being traded to the New York Jets and the contract that ultimately came with it. This year, he's responsibility. I don't think it's pressure. I think he feels responsibility to be able to answer the bell for that contract, to be able to lead the team for that contract, to be able to speak for the team for that contract, and ultimately, we'll see, to be able to win in the postseason, having been given that contract.
And as a player, there's nothing that surprised you or changed or anything. He is who he was, just a year older.
He's confident. He's approachable. He's even keel. He, to me, seems exactly as he did last year, if not even more relaxed. Last year he was chill. This year I think he's even relaxed in a good way. Not
I know. No, that's
crazy.
hard to believe.
Good.
That's like telling me Mr.
Good.
Rogers is even nicer this year. Is that possible? All right. All right. Well, we got the big thing. You're picking the Packers over Seattle. In the context, people should go to WisconsinOnDemand.com. Thanks, TVV.
See you, Homer.
And the show next, I don't care what they call it. It's Jen Latta's 9-3. Is that her number?
That's her number, but she's off this week. Joshie DiMaggio in
well,
for her.
They better have her pick. They do have her pick, right?
I'm sure they do, yeah.
They damn well better. That's next.
We've got a bunch of problems out on the road. First of all, an accident on 794 eastbound right at 94 East.